And it's another privilege and pleasure for me to be here with you. I'm hoping that we're going to have an exciting program, a program that will really stir your interest. And before I get into all of that, we have to say happy birthday to persons who are celebrating today. If you are one, happy birthday to you. If it's your family, happy birthday. Those of you who are celebrating anniversaries, happy anniversary to you. And if by chance today is a special day because you won something, you got something on your boyfriend and your girlfriend, who knows, maybe even if you got a divorce, now that might be a good thing, I don't know. If you got on your bike, on your pair of shoes and your wig, whatever it is, congratulations to you. And of course, for those persons who are bereaved, going through a period of bereavement, we say condolences to you. And that period is not at all easy, but it's a time when it's hard to find comfort with that part of life which is called death. Death is a natural part of life, and it's something that we don't ever come to grips with. And it's one thing if the person wasn't ailing and it's just snatched away, but it's another thing if the person's, well, it's the other way. If the person just goes in a rush when everything was okay, then that is something else. And in speaking about that, we are thinking about Hastings Daniels out of Nevis. He passed just a few days after he actually would have buried his wife. And that is really a sad thing. And we say condolences to his family and his friends, especially his family, Juan Daniel. And he will be laid to rest. And it's not an easy thing for Juan having to have lost his mom and his dad. So we say condolences to him. The funeral will be happening on Saturday, November 30th. He passed on Thursday, October 31st. And funeral service will be taking place at the Eden Brown Church on Saturday, November 30th at 10 a.m. in the morning. The body can be viewed from 8:45 a.m. and interment will be at the Gingerland Cemetery. Again, we say condolences. At the time of his passing, he was an executive member of the St. Kitts and Nevis Table Tennis Association. So on behalf of the St. Kitts and Nevis Table Tennis Association and the table tennis fraternity on a whole, we say condolences to the family, friends, colleagues, and of course the community. And I dare say the entire Nevis, because he was really a gentleman who put his heart, mind, and soul into everything. And he would have been doing a lot for his country of his birth, Nevis. He's going to be tremendously missed. And he never cut any bones about letting you know how he thought and felt about anything. And some persons couldn't handle that. A lot of us can't handle that, when people, one, have a different opinion to us, and two, tell us how they think and feel. But since my children are 5, I'm telling them, hey, that's the way to go. Anybody tell you anything you don't like, you don't think they told you properly, they embarrassed you, they insulted you, you don't believe it's the best idea, you believe they're wrong, don't be afraid to tell them, but be respectful in terms of the body language, the voice, where it happens. You don't embarrass people in front of other people, especially when it's your bosses. So he was an outspoken person. And condolences again to those who have celebrated birthdays between last week, Wednesday, and yesterday. We say happy belated birthday, the Honorable Samuel Duggins, the Minister of Sport, Ital. I think he celebrated, he turned, 40? And we say happy birthday, Honorable Duggins, and hope you're enjoying it. And maybe you're still enjoying it. Some people party from their birthday this year to the day before their birthday next year. They celebrate their birthday for a whole year. So when they stop the day before next year, then they start the new year. So I don't know if he's one of them, but happy birthday, Minister Duggins. And those of you who celebrated anniversaries, happy belated anniversaries. And those of you who will be celebrating birthdays between tomorrow and the next week, Monday, we say happy birthday in advance. And similarly, if you're celebrating anniversaries, happy anniversary in advance. 4660989, that's the number for you to call if you want to get into the show. And the lines are open from the world. Go. You can call in and clarify anything, share your view. Of course, you have to keep it clean and be respectful. And don't call names unless you're bigging up people. Hey, Peter Paul, yes, congratulations. You did an excellent job with that. But if it's not going to be so positive, well, don't call names. We're going to be having a guest at about 7:30. That is the St. Kitts and Nevis Weightlifting Association. Well, I always respect weightlifters lifting these heavy things and bodybuilders. And interesting about it, the bodybuilders, when it comes to women, boy, I look at some of these women and I cannot see myself having a relationship with a female bodybuilder, because when I hold her, when I touch her, I going to feel like I touching a guy, man. So this body is big and bulk and defined. No, man. Plus, if she got to get me to crack, I think I'll have to. Those will be too greatly cracked. So we say good evening again to if you're just joining us. Good evening, welcome. And we have quite an interesting program for you. And let us start off with the St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee. They are going to be having their elections come Thursday at the conference room of the Alfonso E. Bridges Olympic House. That's up at Taylor's Range. And when nominations were closed, the 15th, I think it was, we had Mr. Dennis Freddie Knight, the only nominee. So he's the incumbent. So therefore, he would have been returned unopposed to the presidency. We also had the vice president, Mrs. Jennifer Nero. She was returned unopposed as well. There were no nominations for vice president. So congratulations, Mrs. Nero. The Secretary General, Mr. Glenn Jeffers, there was only one nomination for that position, and it was himself. So he was returned unopposed as well. We say congratulations to you, Mr. Secretary General. The Treasurer, Mr. Glenn Quinlan, he was the only nominee for that position of Treasurer, so he won unopposed as well. So congratulations to you. So that's the President, Freddie Dennis Knight, Vice President, Mrs. Jennifer Nero, Secretary General, Mr. Glenn Jeffers, Treasurer, Mr. Glenn Quinlan, all returned unopposed. Congratulations. And for the position of Assistant Secretary Treasurer, the incumbent is Mr. Leroy Papai Green. And there were two nominations for that position, Mr. Leroy Papai Green, as well as Miss Tichelle McLean, the Secretary of the SKNFA. So there's going to be a vote off, as it were, for that position. So may the better person win. In terms of the executive membership, we currently have five actually. Miss Virgil Hodge, she is the athletes' rep, and they determine who that person will be, the athletes themselves. So they determine who they select for that, and it has been her. And so she's not up for grabs tomorrow at the elections on Thursday. However, the other four executive members, Mr. Lester Hanley, Mr. Stanley Jacobs, Mr. Bacchus, I'm forgetting his first name, the head teacher at Ibasti High School, and Mr. Timothy Morton, they are the four current executive members. And there are 9 names up for that position 9. So out of those 9, there are 12 associations. So they will have to choose who 4 they would want to represent them. And the 12 national associations we are talking about: St. Kitts and Nevis Amateur Basketball Association, St. Kitts Amateur Volleyball Association, St. Kitts and Nevis Netball Association, St. Kitts and Nevis Football Association, St. Kitts and Nevis Handball Association, St. Kitts and Nevis Taekwondo Federation, St. Kitts and Nevis Table Tennis Association, St. Kitts and Nevis Lawn Tennis Association. That is 8. I'm missing 3. St. Kitts and Nevis Sailing Association, St. Kitts and Nevis Aquatic Federation, and the St. Kitts and Nevis Athletics. There are 12 associations, but St. Kitts and Nevis Boxing Association, by virtue of the fact that their international body has been suspended, then all the other boxing associations, federations throughout the world have been suspended from an Olympic Committee point of view. It doesn't stop them from functioning and doing whatever, but it's just that they can't participate in National Olympic Committee's events. So we are going to be having elections. The St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee elections coming up. So I say congratulations to all the nominees and best wishes. We move on. While we're talking SKNOC, national volleyballer St. Clair Penny Hodge and Olympian Virgil Hodge, both of them attended the Pan Am Sports Athletes Forum in Punta Cana. Punta Cana, that's in the Dominican Republic. And if I'm to read the article, St. Clair Penny Hodge and Virgil, a distinguished national footballer, volleyball player, and Olympian, respectively, from St. Kitts and Nevis, are proudly representing the Federation at the 3rd Pan Am Sports Athletes Forum in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. The forum, which gathers athletes from across the Americas, and the Americas, that's North America, Central America, South America, and the Caribbean, serves as a platform to discuss the future of sports and the pivotal role athletes play in shaping its trajectory. Hodge shared his excitement and insights on social media, writing, I quote, "Kickstarting the 3rd Pan Am Sports Athletes Forum in Punta Cana. Today we kick off the Athletes Forum in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. This incredible event brings together athletes from across the Americas to discuss the future of sport. Sport is more than just competition. It's a platform that empowers athletes and shapes lives. It provides opportunities for personal growth, leadership development, and global connections. One of the most crucial aspects of sport is representation. Having a seat at the table allows athletes to have a voice, shape decisions, and contribute to the future of their sport. I'm excited to be part of this important conversation and look forward to sharing more updates from the forum." End of quote. The forum emphasizes athlete representation and empowerment, promoting leadership and collaboration among sports professionals. Hodge's participation underscores the commitment of athletes from St. Kitts and Nevis to engage in global conversations about the development of sports and well-being of the athletes. This significant event not only highlights Hodge's leadership, but also brings international attention to the talent and dedication of athletes from the Federation. The forum continues throughout the week with delegates exploring key issues and fostering unity among nations. And of course, a picture of both of them was attached to that article, posing in front of the school, as it were. And I like the uniform, the shirts. And I believe when it comes to talking about uniform and shirts, I think the national teams should all have somewhat similar uniform. Anyway, St. Kitts and Nevis, if you're pitching marble, You look at the uniform, you must be able to say, oh, that is St. Kitts and Nevis. I am not so sure. Basketball got one set and table tennis got another set and football got another set and then netball got a different set. I'm not so certain that's the way to go. I am thinking that everybody should be somewhat similar. You look at Jamaica, that is the case. Barbados, even St. Lucia, Cayman Islands, Trinidad and Tobago. When you look at these national teams, you easily see their true colors, the colors of the flag. And that's another thing that bothers me. I cannot understand how national teams, when they're practicing and warming up, they're not wearing colors of the flags. Our flag has 5 colors: green, yellow or gold, black, white, and red. For football, red is our home color, green is our away color, and most teams would have a neutral color. That in some cases is white. I like to see a bad white football jersey. And but if you're practicing, what happened to a black jersey or yellow or even a combination? But when you're going to wear pink, and pink is not in national color, well, I don't know. It's just my thing. And again, you can call in and share your difference of opinion with me. And speaking about calling in, forgive me, I didn't say goodnight to some people. I didn't say goodnight to my producer. I was so anxious to get into it. DJ Tough House, good night to you, sir. How are you doing? And some ardent listeners we normally have, Mr. Eustace Hendrickson. He's up in there in Texas, freezing a bit, I believe. Hey, Eustace, good night. How you saying, me boy? And then we have Evie up at up there in Newtown, the road by Breakfast. Good night, Evie. How are you? She's visually impaired, so she'll be listening. And then we have Montezuma over in Mansion. Hey, me boy, what's up? Everything good? And Jam Down is always an ardent listener. Curtis Cook, he listens. And we say good evening to you. And as a reminder, just in case you want to call in 4660989, if you want to call via WhatsApp, my number is 668-2055. Or you can send me your WhatsApp messages and I'll gladly bring them out for you. And where were we now? Yes, we talked about the volleyballers. And let us touch on some table tennis. I'm president of the St. Kitts and Nevis Table Tennis Association. And the SKNTA held its first ever talent identification program in Nevis. We've been having them in St. Kitts over the years, over the decades. And we held the first one in Nevis. It was held at the Cotton Ground Community Center and that is a beautiful place, that community center. I loved it. It's the first time I've been there. And that's probably the cleanest community center. No disrespect to any others, especially those in St. Kitts. But that is probably the cleanest community center I've come across. It's spick and span. The floors look so clean, like if food drop on the floor, you look like you could pick it up and eat it. Not that I'm encouraging you to do that, but that's how clean it is, well laid out, well organized. And I must congratulate the Nevis Island administration and of course the Department of Community Affairs for doing such a wonderful job in that upkeep. We have a challenge with those in St. Kitts, especially that in my hometown of Sandy Point. And it is unlocked. You could walk in there anytime because I always say SP where the best be. And when I say SP where the best be, I mean it with all my heart. We have the best of the best and we have the best of the not so best. So some little children around the area, they've been breaking the glasses, the windows, which is glass, to get in. So there's no need to lock the door. You can walk in anywhere. And that is something we need to look at. The community, the elders in our community, we need to take stronger, greater pride and stronger actions to ensure that we maintain these community centers, because they are expensive. And when we destroy them, it's like you're destroying something in your house, a toilet, a bathroom in your own house. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. So I just don't understand. But congratulations to the Department of Community Affairs in Nevis. They thank them very much for allowing us to use the Cotton Ground Community Center. We must also say thank you to the Ministry of Education, Sports and Education. We interacted with the Permanent Secretary, Miss Zanella Claxton, a lovely lady, and her ministry was also a sponsor to ensure that that happened. And the Department of Sports, we must enough kudos to the Deputy Director, Mr. Alger Newton, and his team. Alger really went out his way to ensure that this not only came off, but it came off successfully. We say thank you very much, Alger. The St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee, they are major sponsors of the St. Kitts and Nevis Table Tennis Association, as they are when it comes to national associations. Last year, they were given a grant of $18,360 to all national associations, provided that you were active. And they had some criteria where you must use the monies for some of these things. And this year, it went up to $27,000 easy. And on behalf of the St. Kitts and Nevis Table Tennis Association, I really thank the SKNOC for this. It's a far cry from what we're doing, we would like, because we're hosting an ITTF Level 1 coaching course as well as a table tennis camp coming up. It starts next week, Saturday the 7th. So the table tennis Level 1 coaching course goes from Saturday 7th to the Wednesday 11th, 5 days. And we're making a provisions for a maximum of 30 coaches, 30, and then from Thursday the 12th to Monday the 16th, it's going to be a 5-day table tennis camp, making provisions for 30 students from primary school, high schools, and the coaches who will be undergoing the Level 1 coaching course, they will be the one facilitating or now coaching these youngsters, and that is part of the Level 1 coaching certification. They have to do 30 hours of supervised training, and the expert, Miss Alina Edwards from Trinidad and Tobago, she will be here. She is delivering, facilitating the course. And so she will be supervising the 30 hours of training, coaching, and then they'll have to continue and do another 30 hours of coaching, be it at the school level, be it at the community level, be it at the club level, be it at the national level. And just a reminder, we have 5 table tennis clubs at the moment in the federation. We have Club Freeman and Freeman, Mr. Urban Freeman, he's the president of that organization. Mr. Calvin Lake, he is the president of In the Loop Table Tennis Club. And Club Freeman is based, in a sense, around the Sadlers region. And In the Loop is based more in St. Peter's. Then we have the Sandy Point Table Tennis Association. Mr. Quinton Morton, he is the president. And we also have the Challengers Table Tennis Club. Mr. Dennis Bowers is the president. And Liamiga Table Tennis Club, and Mr. Craig McDowell, he is the president of that. So in case you're interested in joining table tennis, becoming a coach, learning to play, continuing to practice to play, these are the persons to call, or you can give me a call and I'll be able to redirect you to the appropriate persons. And so we're having this happening, and it's all happening at the St. Paul's Community Center. And that is very well kept. It's nice and spacious. It's one of the bigger ones, if not the biggest ones we've come about. We like the fact that 6 table tennis boards can hold in the open space. where we could see everything that's happening. Newtown, maybe it might be a little bigger. Newtown, it has 2 stories, but we like St. Paul's. And we've used St. John's Community Center to some extent, but it's not as big as St. Paul's, the St. Peter's. St. Paul's is really great. Even the Sandy Point is not as big from an area point of view when it comes to the space. So in case you want to register to undergo the coaching course, give myself, yours truly, Troy Biff Mills, a call, 668-2055, or you can give the vice president of the association, who is also a coach himself, Mr. Shakwan Hodge. You can give him a call. His number is 7675886, and we'll direct you accordingly. And if you would want to have your child or children attend, again, give us a call. Or you could go to our Facebook account, SKN Facebook at SKNTTA Dev, and you'll be able to get more information about that. And the links are already available. You just go and it's on the site, or you can even WhatsApp me. We'll be able to send them, myself, Shakwan, and the executive member will be able to send the link or the links. One link for the coaching course, the other, the registration form for the camp, and it's free of charge. Free of charge. So maximize that for us, please. And we again thank the sponsors for ensuring that the table tennis talent identification program happened in Nevis, the first time ever. The Nevis Ministry and Department of Sports, Nevis Spring Water for providing water, and Nevis Department of Community Affairs, and of course the SKNOC. And we're going to be having our national table tennis championship down in December. We were thinking about the 21st and 22nd, but I think we're going to be forced to push it back the 28th and 29th, a Saturday and Sunday. We're looking at males and females in the senior, youth, and junior categories. We'll be playing singles, we'll be playing men's doubles, as well as mixed doubles. So a lot of table tennis. And we have started the program working towards the 2028 Olympic. It's okay if you can't chop a stroke in table tennis. I always say, one, before you could walk, you couldn't walk. And before you could cook, you couldn't cook. And I'm sure a lot of people out there, the first time they cook, they burn up the water. So, but then over time, you get the niff of the jiff, and you become expert. The same thing with table tennis. But right now, we are going to take a break. Our guests are already here. So we're going to take a break. Stick and stay. Don't go away. And we will be back with the St. Kitts and Nevis Weightlifting Association. Welcome back to On the Ball here on WINN FM 98.9. I am Troy Biff Mills, your host. The pleasure is always mine to be here. On the Ball heard every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. on WINN FM 98.9. And it's carried live on Facebook and on YouTube. So if you want to see the host and whether he's not so good looking or whatever, and you want to see the guests, whether they're bald head like me or Rastaman, tune into our Facebook page or YouTube, and you'll be able to follow us live. Again, we have a bit of cricket to touch on. IPL, high performance, St. Lucia Youth making West Indies on the 19th camp. What happened to us here in St. Kitts and Nevis? Football, primary school, high school, netball. Did I say cricket? Yes, cricket over in St. Paul's. Guyana starting a Super League. India taking care of business of Australia in Australia. New Zealand just put some blows on India, down in India. Why are we going on with this cricket, boy? Boxing. The people wondering if the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul match, if it wasn't a fix and wasn't a setup and a sellout or whatever you want to call it. And so we got some nice discussions we're hoping. And in football, Alex Claxton is crying foul on the SKNFA Council Cup coming up. Bat has been having a challenging time. I have a lot of respect for Bat. Over the years, they've been the only club that has been participating in all football activities, males, females, on the 17, on the 15, on the 13, grassroots, whatever the case is. And I'm thinking they deserve more. We need to do a lot to help them. They're not in the Community Cup, the Council Cup that's happening. I don't know why. We have to find out. St. Paul's, they're not in it. The defending champions for the National League, they're not in this. And I'm thinking it would be a good opportunity, a good preseason workout for them, to, especially if they have new players coming in. Try them in the bullring and see how they stand up. Security forces, I don't think they're in it as well. But we have to find out. We have to talk to these people. Well, let's go live to Studio 2 and say, good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Good evening.
Welcome to WINN FM 98.9. This is not the first time you've been here on the Ball, so we thank you for making yourselves available. But could you please tell us and the persons who are listening and looking who you are?
Yeah, well, good night again. Romain Belgove. I'm the president of the St. Kitts Nevis Weightlifting Association.
And Mr. James, I'm the technical director of the St. Kitts Nevis Weightlifting Federation.
Expensive name, technical director, powerful name, president. Weightlifting, that's pushing a lot of weights and you're squatting and you're pushing them up. And I don't know, I always admire weightlifters. The strength, the power. Most of them are not the most shapely persons, but I guess it's the brute strength. And
you got weightlifting and you got bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is when you look at your shape. Weightlifting, you ain't got to be the best shape once you have the strength.
So somebody like me could be a good bodybuilder with a little girl.
Weightlifter.
Well, I said earlier, I can't see myself being intimate friendly with a female bodybuilder. I think when I do so and hold her, one, she gonna be so bad I can't touch my hands, and two, I gonna feel like I'm actually hugging a man, and well, I'm not down the alley there.
You might not be able to talk that.
But he did some. I don't watch some of them legs, man, and the legs like bigger than my waist. Woo.
It's the real boot strength.
Yeah, man.
To really do it for competing.
And I really sorry for the boyfriend or the husband, because if they get vexed and they give you two good cracks, you got two good cracks. But anyway, gentlemen, the St. Kitts and Nevis Weightlifting Association. How long have you guys really been around? Tell us a little about your association.
Okay, we're in 24. We started in 2022 basically. In 2019, we started having some powerlifting competition per se. In 2019, we started having some powerlifting competition where, if you look on YouTube and you see the world's strongest man competition, I look at that all the time and I just had a dream where I said, well, I think I could bring something like that here and I could do the same discipline, the same exercises, but I just got to improvise and use my own equipment and stuff like that. And that is where it all really started. And we had a competition, and we had a couple guys who competed. Came off well, I must say, the first 2 years. We did it for 2 years. And then after that, we had a little bit between the, but then just go on and just do the whole weightlifting thing, because weightlifting is an Olympic recognized sport. And with the of Al, technical, and so they just encourage me to take it per se, and let me just go on and really do things the right way, and just try to push it so we could kind of get St. Kitts out there. So we've been around for officially from like 22, but unofficially we started doing things like in 2019.
Okay, that seems interesting. But what are the, how should I put it? What is necessary for me, James, to become a weightlifter?
Okay. First thing, let's not get mixed up between these bodybuilding, right? And there's also what they call like strongman competition, almost like a CrossFit competition. And then there's the, we call it Olympic weightlifting, where you have to perform the Olympic lifts, right? Which is the jerk and clean and stuff. Is set up similar to, say boxing. So they are weight class, right? So don't look and say, oh, this person's stronger than me. Yes, the person might be stronger than you, but also the weight of the person also play a big role, because you won't, if say for example, say you were 100 pounds, you won't be in the same category as somebody say 200 pounds or 150 pounds. So you're going to be weight class.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at the persons who competing, you are competing against, you are going to basically have the same body structure.
Okay.
So you can't say, oh, he was bigger than me or whatever. He might be older than you or younger than you, but in terms of body structure, you know, I say, oh man, they were bigger than me and whatever and kind of things. There's not such thing in that. Everybody will be the same weight, so they different weight category. And they also have age category. So they also have the junior category for both male and female, and then they have the senior category. And this weightlifting thing is similar to, like, say, for example, like track and field and other, say, like gymnastic, where they have different championships, and at the end, everybody trying to reach the Olympics. So they have like world championship in bodybuilding. They might have say a Grand Prix in weightlifting, where like similar to where we are going to in Barbados. That is like they're keeping a weightlifting, say, called games down there, where you have to weigh in and everything. Everybody can put in different weight category and have a little competition down there. And then we have those throughout the Caribbean, South America, all over the world. So it's just, to say qualify to go. But at the end of the day, everybody trying to reach either to the World Championship or the Olympics. That's where you'll be on the big stage, make a little money, put St. Kitts on the map, them sort of stuff.
Three things, well, there are a few things about me. But when it comes to athleticism, three things I'm not very good at. Running fast, jumping, whether high jump or long jump, and lifting. I am really a strong person. And I never ever recall giving my house a point, whether in primary school or high school, in high jump. When you got the heats, I never make the high jump standard. I never make the long jump standard. I don't think I ever make the 100 meter or the 200 meter. I was more a little distance because I had a fast twitch model. But back then, I never make the shot put. I know shot put is more technique and thing, but back then I don't think it was so much technique. It was just trying. Over the years it developed. But I never make the shot put standard, and because I'm not really a strong guy. for whatever reason. But according to Sugar Allos, I love being me. I don't want to be somebody else because normally when you're strong in an area, you give up something else in some area. But it's interesting because I'm here thinking, could you imagine me and my DJ? I and me 195 pound and my DJ 216 pounds and tough house, and we going and we lifting the same kind of thing. He gonna make me look small because he's a big, strong, powerful man. And I appreciate the categories and particular males and females. But in terms of activities, what have you been doing? You mentioned a few, and I have witnessed some events you would have had across Central Street in front of BCA there once or twice, and I was very much impressed with it. But you also mentioned going to the Barbados. What were the preparations leading up to that?
Okay, so that is it's called the Phillips and Springer Classic weightlifting activities in Barbados. It's running from the 25th to the 30th. Basically, it would have started yesterday, Monday, and the main competition is Saturday because they have different sessions. They will have like anti-doping and different stuff that the athletes could get knowledge about. So, if you could afford to get your athletes there for the 5-6 days, it's more beneficial to them. It's a chance for them to learn a lot about the whole weightlifting thing. But the competition itself is on Saturday, on the 30th, and this is the 5th year. This is the 5th year that they're gonna be having it. We have been invited, I think like twice, but circumstances beyond our control, we were not able to get anybody there. And this year, we sort of ended up in a better position where we could afford to get somebody down there to compete, to represent St. Kitts. One of the main things being getting accepted by the Pan American Weightlifting Association. We just recently got accepted by that body, and so they are now helping us to get accepted by the International Weightlifting Federation, the IWF. So we are one step closer to that. We already sent them all the information they asked for, and we are now just awaiting their approval after they go through all the information that they asked for. So once accepted by the IWF, we should be in a better position. But in terms of the competition, this will be our first competition that St. Kitts will actually be represented overseas. There are more competitions coming up. St. Kitts and Nevis, yes, because it's the St. Kitts Nevis Weightlifting Association, so forgive me. St. Kitts and Nevis will be represented once all goes well. We have an athlete, he's going to be traveling from New York to Barbados. That's where he's based right now. We have local athletes. We actually had 2 athletes locally who were geared up to go, but one got injured, and the other one, because of his work, he recently traveled, and it would have been kind of difficult to come back Sunday and travel Monday to go and compete again. So we basically had to X out those 2, but we now have another athlete who approached us and who will be with us going forward, because he have ties here in St. Kitts and Nevis, so he will be competing whenever he can going forward. He will be a part of us along with any local athletes, because we don't have much local athletes, because like his weightlifting, we don't have a lot of local athletes, but we welcome anybody who wants to come and join. We plan to have some training courses into next year for people who are interested in the sport but don't really know too much about it. So you don't have to know it exactly. And the competition Saturday is not a matter of winning, or we're going out there to represent St. Kitts and Nevis. We're getting our foot wet. Yes, we would like to win or come high up in the rankings still, but even if we don't win, the whole idea is to represent St. Kitts and Nevis in this, our first competition, where there will be more competition coming up going forward. So this is just basically the getting your foot wet. And the athletes were training. They were training leading up to the competition, but sadly, like I said, one got injured and the other one can't make it because of his job issues. So we have another one though. So we should have somebody representing St. Kitts and Nevis, and Alistair here will be accompanying the athlete as well.
That is always a challenge, getting time off from work to represent your country. I think it's a little easier if the athletes are working for government. It becomes a little more challenging if they're in the private sector. But even with government, I am hearing of a situation where this particular individual, when he go off to represent the national the Federation, St. Kitts and Nevis. Actually, he isn't being paid. So it's a piece I need to research and find out more about. Not that I could do anything about it, except advocate, because we need to be proud of our athletes, and not just athletes only, because I don't think you could go to a competition without a manager, without a coach. So the support staff, it's important for them. And in my humble view, we want to hear of our athletes and the pinnacle and the podium. But going and competing, it's necessary. And yes, we're not professionals. They're getting paid to do these things, and that is their work. We're mixing the two. For various reasons, we are disadvantaged already with that. But we need more support from the employers. You mentioned the youngster from the US. What category he's competing in?
Well, he's going to be in the heaviest category. Actually, I don't know if we have enough time. If you wanted me to probably get him on the phone, and if you wanted to ask a question, or probably maybe next week after he finished competing. But he should be in the heavyweight, the heavyweight or super heavyweight, because he's a kind of thick guy. So he will be up there in the higher. I think he's weighing like 180. I think it's 180 kilos, 100 and something kilos. He said, and his starting weight is like 190 something kilos.
190 something kilos.
That's his starting weight for lifting.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much he lifts to start with, because they ask that in Barbados. That's part of, they send your form to fill out, and you have to put your weight and your starting weight.
Okay.
How much you will lift.
But that's a big guy, a heavy guy, because a kilo is like 2.2 pounds. So, but we're going back to the injury, Alistair.
Yeah.
We see it happening fairly often with athletes. They, at the last moment, they can't continue because they're injured. Not only football, we've seen it in cricket. Remember our own Jeremiah Louis, the pace bowler. He got into the West Indies squad because of an injured Kemar Roach when they were going to England a few weeks ago. So what can cause that, and how can it be prevented? Athletes getting injured coming out during the training, especially just before the team is ready to travel.
This is talking from my experience working. I worked with West Indies A team a few times, Leeward Island cricket and so forth. But I realized a lot of the cricketers are athletes in general. They're not knowledgeable in terms of strength training. And that is one of the big drawback in our athletes all over the Caribbean. Like, imagine you're in the West Indies team and you cannot perform a proper squat. You can't even a proper Olympic lifts. And these are stuff that athletes supposed to do, a part of the routine, right? These are exercises that will get you stronger and more flexible, get you more explosive, but athletes don't know how to perform them. It's like West Indies team is like the highest level you could reach in the Caribbean. And when you reach the level, you have to teach somebody how to squat properly.
Wow. So you would have expected that to have been done way back when, because if we walk backwards, you have the national team, the West Indies team, and you have the regional competition, Leewards Jamaica. So at the Leewards team, you have to be playing St. Kitts versus Antigua versus Nevis to be selected there. And when you're in St. Kitts, you have to be playing club cricket, Sandy Point against Keon, against St. Smith or whoever, to be selected. So the bulk of it should be starting down at even that club level, shouldn't it be?
At club level.
And, well, you still have your own personal interest to look about. So you should be doing some research. And this is not the day when the information is not accessible. You have the internet, you are putting something and it's spit it out even before you finish. And so all our athletes in general need to be starting at the lower levels. You mentioned strength training. What is that really?
strength training, if it's performed properly or if it's supervised properly, it should get you faster, stronger, more flexible. You realize I didn't say get you bigger,
Mm-hmm.
because this is the notion some of the athletes, also the coaches, have. If you lift weight, you don't get strong, you don't get bulky, you can slow you down. Which is, opposite.
And therefore, if I go in, I don't know anything about weights and strength, and I just go in the gym and I just start to do lift overheads and pull these lot of machine. Am I really doing a good job at developing strength?
Now, you all go upon, you need a program. You need to be working with a program.
Okay.
A program. For example, like me, if I go into a gym, I know where people don't know me, don't know my background, and they see me looking at my structure, and then they see somebody else with like a muscular structure, right? And we want to train you. Most time they will pick and say, okay, I want the muscular guy because he look like he just lift weights. He look like, he know what to do in the gym. Right? And that's how most of us look at, a trainer or somebody who don't want to train them. Right? They're not going to look and say, okay, when it's, you're certified, you qualify, you whatever, you this, that, nah. They're going to just look at the guy look buff, so he walk okay. He had to know something to make him look like that. Right? And guess what? Most times, that individual will train you like how he was trained. Right?
But only teach what you know.
Exactly. So he know to train to be a bodybuilder, just train to make your body look good. But if you have to break down the dynamics, then you got to break down the biomechanics of, say, football, cricket, what muscles, because you have to train backward when you come to athletes. First, you have to find out the muscles that are used the most in that particular sport. And then you have to go into like what we call injury prevention mode. So you have to train those muscles, concentrate on those muscles to prevent injury from happening. So unless you're not doing that, right, and you're just training the athlete and not thinking about the muscles that are used the most in that particular sport, if he's a bowler, if he's say football, if he's a left footer, right footer, whatever, he plays striker, defender, whatever, basketball, the same thing. Right? You got to go where we call prevention mode, then you go into general mode. If that makes sense.
Yes, I understand. And different, especially the muscles, a lot of us may not be aware. Swimmers, they use different sets of muscles than, say, sprinters, than footballers, than cricketers, than weightlifters.
Yeah.
So it's important, and that is something that has been beating us generally, our ignorance.
Yeah.
We are not aware of the things we should and shouldn't do. But that's very important. Back to the competition itself. How long has our athletes been on the training for this event?
Well, he was into powerlifting first, but it's about a year now. He told me that he has transitioned over into the actual weightlifting, because it's a different discipline to powerlifting. Powerlifting and weightlifting is still two different things. So he now into weightlifting, transition from powerlifting, and it's been about a year now, and he's been, I think he say his max is like 180 something or 190 something kilos right now. That is max. He's starting, I just had information here. He's on 102 kilos. That's his weight. He's 102 kilos. And the starting is 186 kilos. That's what he starts with. So you multiply that 2.2. That's a lot of weight to start with.
Yeah, which is much more than than how much
Yeah,
it is.
and he said he's been doing it for at least a year now, so we should have some good representation down there. I mean, some of the guys he will be coming up against probably been doing it a little bit longer than him, but you never know. Lady Luck just might strike on your side, you never know. And as I said, it boils down to us getting representation for St. Kitts and Nevis. We might not place first, we might not be in the top 10, but at the end of the day, you can say St. Kitts Nevis was represented in this competition for the first time, and once we get in there for the first time, we're not coming out. We're going to just keep on continue competing.
You're listening to On The Ball here at WINN FM 98.9. I am Troy Biff Mills, your host, and we thank you for listening in. You can call in 466-0989, or you can send me a WhatsApp or call in via WhatsApp if you care to. We can link and set you up. We have the St. Kitts and Nevis Weightlifting Association here with us, Mr. Romain Belgrove, the president, and the technical director, Mr. Alistair James. And it's always a pleasure for them to be here. It's not the first time, and we don't expect it will be the last. And after this competition, what is on the cards for weightlifting locally, regionally, internationally?
Okay, before we go into that, the weightlifting, which is the Olympic weightlifting, is basically new to the Caribbean. There's a few islands that doing it for a while now, Barbados, Jamaica, but a lot of, especially smaller islands, is very new. So it's something they are pushing going forward for, trying to get it set up in different islands. And yes, it's our first time competing, and it probably going to be first time for a lot of people. Some of them small islands like St. Lucia, I think Antigua, some of those Windward Islands, Grenada. So we're not only going to be the first time being there, other islands going to be there. Also, we have to take in consideration, you'll be drug tested.
Well, I was going to touch that.
Right? So, unlike some people might feel like, okay, man, he got to be on something to be living that way. You're going to be drug tested. So, it's a natural sport. Right? So, don't feel like, oh, because this person lifting this lot of weight, he got to be on something. You're going to be drug tested. So, I have to put that over. Well, I did the drug testing, I have a drug testing certification that we did for weightlifting. So we had to go through all of that and everything, learn the criteria as what is foul play, what not foul play. So you have to educate the athletes. So even locally now, who are also interested in participating in weightlifting, also we have to educate them, especially if the person plan to take it serious and plan to go overseas to represent St. Kitts. We have to educate them. Yes, you have to do this, you have to do that. If you're going to be taking supplements, you got to let me know what you're taking. If you're taking any medication, especially when we're going overseas, you got to get something from your doctor and, present that. So it's like track and field or any other big sports out there that, have the lot of rules and regulations.
Well, I was going to ask the question later, but you brought up that because it's sad. We've always been hearing about athletes, different disciplines, using steroids, performing enhancement drugs. And there were always the suspicions that when it comes to bodybuilders and weightlifters, they are doing that because there are some supplements, proteins and amino acids. Do the weightlifters use those as well, or would that just be limited to the what do you call them again? Bodybuilders.
No, you can. There's nothing wrong. There are clean supplement out there. There are clean supplement out there that will pass if you take it before, after competition, or during the competition. You'll be fine. It's just there are also those that are dirty, right? So, for example, there's a list. They have water, and there's a list that you will punch in. Say you want to buy, say, a night check, say whey protein. You punch it in, put it in the water search, and it will tell you, okay, what all inside here, right? And it will red flag all the stuff that are banned. So you know, well, you cannot buy this brand, or you cannot buy this, say, not the brand, but say this pre-workout, or you cannot buy this protein. So, but in terms of whey protein, the protein itself, most protein, whey protein, are clean. What I mostly have dirty stuff in them is the weight gainer. Most of the weight gainers will be more suspicious for dirty stuff. But most of the protein, the whey protein, most of them are clean. There's also some dirty ones.
Mhm.
So,
And you mentioned WADA. Every year in October they produce the list.
yeah,
The list changes every year. Some are taken off, some are added. And it came out, I saw the list a few weeks, last week, earlier this month.
the banned substance
Yes.
are
The list of the substances, and they kick into effect come the
Yeah.
1st of January, I think. So they bring them out in October, November, to give you a heads up in case you're an athlete, because something might have been
So-
okay.
yeah, something that be
Okay.
there are something that's seesaw.
Mm.
It might be on list this year, next year they take it off because science
exactly.
says something.
Mm.
Science say, oh, man, that could slide, but you know, so you got to be always up to date, and just you don't want to be you as an individual, you don't want to be on the list.
Of course. I remember.
The worst if you say you have what we call a nagging girlfriend or wife that she call you every minute and you don't answer. It's on the water list, man. You're talking about a nagging girlfriend or wife.
You was
The
like that.
the worst than that.
And I remember this scare we had a few years ago with Kim Collins, because I think he's asthmatic, so he was using a pump and the ingredient he had in there something, but he was cleared eventually. And but it's important, and you mentioned the point that athletes can't go in a pharmacy and see NyQuil or some other ingredient for colds and coughs, and you just take it and thinking that you're okay, because once you're tested and it's in your body, they're not going to ask the trainer. They're going to ask you because you were the one who took it. Of course, if the doctor prescribed it, that's a different kettle of fish. But whatever you eat, whatever goes in, food or drink, you are ultimately responsible for that. You can't say, I didn't know. It was your duty to find out from a drug point of view.
Okay, with no biasness or no discreditation to the other athletes, this athlete that we have competing, he takes his training very seriously and he does his research. He looks at he's a natural trainer. So basically he's all natural. And if he has to take anything, he does his research and see if it is any banned substance. 'Cause he don't just put anything in his body, because he's really trying to stay as natural as possible, to just use brute strength. That is his aim. And you could clearly see that he really wants to reach far in this weightlifting thing. He takes it serious. He does his training properly. He has his schedule and everything set up properly. So it's not just a matter of just jump up out the blue and say, he want to go and represent St. Kitts and he been lifting for a while and thing. He been training all the time for this, and he just now advance his training to push it further because he really wants to get to Olympics as well. So he's glad that he now has the opportunity to represent St. Kitts as well as to reach his goal that he's been trying to reach for so long, because you have to compete in certain amount of international games and so on to get to that level. So he's now getting his foot wet. The country, both St. Kitts and Nevis, getting their foot wet. He's also getting his foot wet on the road to reaching to Olympics later on as a natural athlete.
That is indeed wonderful. And there has been a challenge and concern, especially from in the football arena, because I think it happens most where most of our national athletes, they are of Kittitian and Nevisian descendancy. living abroad, born abroad, living abroad, having them represent St. Kitts and Nevis. Some persons feel that, oh, we shouldn't be having them. They're playing over there, let us stay over there. We use all our local. Then there's the challenge of, should there be a sort of ratio? 50%, 60% local, 40% over there, whatever. So from your point of view, how much of a challenge or how easy was it for your association to say, hey, this is a Kittitian and division over there. He might have been born here, but his mother or grandfather or whoever from St. Kitts. How much of a challenge was it for your association to say, let us go with him?
No, okay. With football, it kind of different. Weightlifting, say, for example, track and field, table tennis, lawn tennis, individual sports, your stats carry a lot of weight. For example, if you overseas and you lift in, say, 200K, somebody in St. Kitts only lifting 100K, they're gone clear. And like in soccer, it's kind of hard to differentiate, say, somebody's.
Could you hold a second? We have, actually, we're going from one call to two calls. Good evening. Well, we lost that one. We have another one. Good evening, caller. Thank you for. Oh, I guess I'm not so fast. I have to quicken up. Thank you for calling in, callers. We lost two callers. Please do call again, 466-0989, and we'll gladly take your call. I have to be a little more vigilant. So, here comes one. Good evening, caller. Thank you for calling on the ball, WINN FM. You're live.
Yes, good night to everyone in the listening audience. What is the topic of the program tonight? General.
At the moment, we have the St. Kitts and Nevis Weightlifting Association in studio. They are preparing to go to a competition in Barbados.
Okay. Well, okay, I was just basically calling to inform the public, the sporting public, of the passing of Winston Wade Davis. I don't know if you're familiar with the name.
Winston Wade Davis, the cricketer out of Molyneux.
Yeah, cricketer from Molyneux, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he would have played for St. Kitts and also represented the Leeward Islands.
Indeed.
In cricket. And he was a very good footballer as well, too. Well, he passed away yesterday. He passed away yesterday in the hospital.
Where was that?
So, in St. Kitts, but he was living in the Virgin Islands for some time. But then he fell ill, and so he came back home and he was admitted to the hospital. And he passed away yesterday.
Wow, thank you for informing us on behalf of the management and staff of WINN FM 98.9, the board of directors, and of course on the ball and myself. And I'll dare say the cricket-loving public, the cricket fraternity, we extend condolences to his family and friends and the Molyneux community. I knew Wade. I umpired with him, and no doubt he might have said that I cheat him out a couple of times as an umpire. But it's unfortunate. We've lost yet another sportsman. Again, we lost Jabba Trapman just a few weeks ago, a national footballer, national coach. And it's really sad news. But we ask the family to be strong and find comfort in the many pleasant moments they would have shared, the memories of which they will always treasure. Thanks a lot for calling in, caller, and letting us know of the passing of Winston Wade Davis. May his soul rest in peace.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
You're listening to On The Ball here at WINN FM 98.9, and we thank that caller for just calling in and sharing the very unpleasant news of the passing of Winston Wade Davis, a cricketer. I didn't know him as a footballer. I knew him as a cricketer. I think he would have skipped the St. Kitts and Nevis team at a point, and a very stubborn batsman he was. And he did some off spin as well, played for St. Kitts and Nevis, played for Leewards. Persons felt that he should have gone on a little further, play for West Indies, but it was in a time where we had to do 3 times as much to get a third as much. So condolences to his friends, his family, and the Molyneux your community. Yes, gentlemen, and
Yeah, like
was saying.
we're talking about overseas athletes
Correct.
compared to the local. Individual sports is kind of easy. For example, like track and field. Somebody run 10-7 in St. Kitts, somebody run 10-2 overseas, 10-2 clear favorite,
Mm-hmm.
right? Soccer is kind of different because it's a team sport. So kind of hard to differentiate who are better in when it comes to soccer. But individual sport, weightlifting, like what we are part of, is very easy to differentiate. Somebody lift 200k here in St. Kitts, somebody lift 250k overseas. Who lift the most got the advantage.
Oh, okay.
But if you realize, first when I was talking about it, I said we have two athletes here. One got injured, and the other one, because of his job and he recently traveled, he won't be able to. So which means our first option was right here. But those fell through. But even though that was our first option, this other athlete was determined to do whatever he can. So we might have had two athletes, in fact, going to the competition because he was determined to do whatever it takes to get there along with whoever he is. Not a matter of we had to choose him or them. But if our athlete here was able to go, he would have still done what he had to do to get there. And the main reason for limited athletes is because we're not a member of the local NOC as yet. We already applied, and I must say, thanks to them, they recently gave us a piece of document there that we sent off to the IWF that should push our case a little faster and help us get accepted into the IWF once they review our application. We just recently got it from the local NOC, but we're not exactly a member of the NOC as yet. So we know their policy is limited stuff that they can do for associations once you're not a member. We respect that. We're not a member, so we respect that, but we still respect the fact that they gave us this piece of document to send off. And so we're hoping that once all is cleared in future competitions, then we would be able to say all of us on the same page, and we'll be able to get some more help from the NOC so that we could at least get more athletes going off to represent St. Kitts. And in the meantime, we'll be trying to work on those athletes so when competition come around, we could say, well, yeah, this is coming up, and we want to send 2 executive members, 3, 4 athletes, something like that, once we get accepted. But basically, funding was the main reason for limited amount of athletes. And even though it boiled down to just one, the whole thing is to get represented, and then you would move on from there. So it wasn't really a hard choice to choose between overseas or here. It's just a matter of who's available at the time, and we could not have just not send anybody because this is about the 3rd time they have been inviting us. And one of the things also, they gave us some equipment. The Pan American Weightlifting Association, they donated some equipment not just to us, but a few islands in the Caribbean who now into the weightlifting. So that is their way of helping you. They sent some bars and the weights for on the bar, a whole full set. We have those weights in our possession already. They already came here, and they sent them for free. We didn't have to pay anything for them. We had to write to the Ministry of Sports to get them clear, so we don't have to pay any custom charges either because they were a gift. And we don't have any money to go pay for a gift, so we got everything thanks to the Ministry of Sports and everybody who had something to do with it. So we have those in our position. So we have weights to train with. All you have to do is show up. We have the weights already. Just show up and we could move from there.
And where's the training done?
Well, most of it for now is at IWIP gym by Ali's gym because we don't have a home as yet per se. We're trying to work on that where we would do just strictly weightlifting. But in the meantime, we do something by Ali so that we could have people training so we're not just relaxing and doing nothing. But hopefully if we get our own space, then we could get coaches from overseas because one of the things they promised us is they would send a coach on our request. We just have to tell them, okay, send the person January or February. Everything is done. They're just waiting on us now to say when we want the coach to come. They're willing to send a coach for at least 3 weeks to a month to help us. But we don't want to do that unless we have enough athletes.
Yes.
We don't want to tell them send a coach and we only have one person-to-person training. So we don't have to try and gather the interest of the people out there who want to get into weightlifting, and then they would get the assistance.
That makes a lot of sense. And for those persons who do not know where the training, could you be a little more specific? Give a little detail. You did say Alice training, but where is that? What is that?
It's the old Simaco building in Newtown. That's where it's located. And I don't want anybody to say, okay, why is we training over there? It's Olympic lift, it's not regular weightlifting. So it's not everybody in sync is trained how to train people, how to do that lift, right? So you got to be very specific in terms of the techniques and the rules and regulations for the lifts, and not everybody actually does those lifts. I'm sure if you go around to most of the gyms in St. Kitts, you hardly find anybody doing Olympic lifts, right? So, and I don't think there are much people actually train in that area.
Well, I could tell you, this program has encouraged one person to consider it. Because my producer, DJ Tough.
We welcome you, and he done what he said. We'll talk after. We welcome you. We'll welcome you into the fold. And they actually have a competition next year coming up in May. That's one of the first competitions that we heard of. For now, we don't have anything earlier, but that one is already set. That is about powerlifting competition though, and we're gonna be working towards that. So if you wanna jump in the ballroom and start training towards that, you have time. Once you're serious, we get it going.
How does one become a member or get into that? Is there a registration fee?
Nah, there's no registration fee, right? You just come, get in contact with any one of us who are part of the association, and we will guide you, like when is the days you can come and train, and we will, step by step show you, right? You start basically from scratch. So it's not like you're coming in the gym and doing normal weight training, right? So you go start basically from scratch. You got to make sure you're able to perform the movement. You got stages. You do the stage first. When you master the stage, you go to the next stage. When you master the stage, you go to the next stage, and then you try to combine all of them together to get one lift. So, like when you go into gym and you just tell you, okay, do bench press. There's no stage in bench press. Or they do stage in squatting, say pull up or them kind of in the gym. You just go in and they demonstrate and they tell you, okay, do it this way. Give me 3 sets of that. But in the Olympic lifts, there are stages. You got to learn up to the first stage, the second stage, then you combine probably the first and second, then you do the third stage, then you combine first, second, and third stage together to get the whole complete lift. And that's basically how we train for the Olympic lifts.
How can people get in contact with either of you, any members of the association, if they're interested?
Well, actually, let me tell you about all the other members. In fact, so because most people know them, all the members of the executive and known people are all around. We have Mr. Glenville Rogers, and he does training as well. He's the secretary. He's the treasurer for the organization, but he does training. He knows about training. So that's Glenville Rogers. Most people know him as just Glenn, see him around.
That's where's he from?
He lives at New Road area where nobody carry Festa House, but he's from here. He always all around. You just see Glenn driving up and down on the road.
I asked because there's another Glenville Jeffers from
that's Rogers
out to Sally Point.
Rogers is the one who drives the taxi and stuff like that. No, this one don't drive taxi. He's from New Road. Then we have Julie Charles is our secretary. And the thing about this organization, everybody basically on the organization knows about the whole weightlifting and stuff that go on, because Julie trains at Ali's gym. And I'm sure if somebody come in and start to train for weightlifting and they're doing something wrong, she could pinpoint and tell them you're doing that wrong, you're supposed to go.
Julie, that's a
Julie
woman.
Charles, yeah. She's the secretary, but she knows because she trains at Ali's gym and she's versed in what's going on. Then we have Jason McCoy, people know him as Fuck Up from Newtown. He is the vice president, and he also knows about training, and he's training some CFB students right now. He said that he's actually training for the whole weightlifting. So maybe in the next year or so, we might actually have some junior members to compete whenever there's a competition. But all of the members, any one of those people, myself, Ali, Glenn, Julie, or Prokop, any one of 25 of us, you see us on the road anywhere, you could just stop us and have a conversation and we walk from there.
Would you want to share at least one number?
Sure, no problem. Well, my number is 665-1778. Ali could give you his, but that's mine, 665-1778.
My number is 760-9990-9990.
And before you slip away, any sponsors you want to thank again for not only this trip, but helping working with your association?
Yeah, we don't really have much sponsors, if any at all. But like I said, the local NOC, they sent that document. That I think because of getting that document, we sent it off. And the Pan American, the main helpers basically is the Pan American Weightlifting Association and Mr. Jose Quinones. I must say a special thanks to him, because we keep in contact all the time, and he's really pushing to get us sorted out. So they paid for the ticket for at least the ticket and accommodations. They're gonna be dealing with helping us. So we at least get a start from there. And the NOC trying to get some St. Kitts outfits to outfit them in something representing St. Kitts and Nevis. The NOC is working on that. First, we just got to pass by them and try to get a part. They start out, and like I said, we know that we are not quite a member of the NOC as yet, so we're not expecting too much from them. But whatever little they can do for us, we welcome it. And if anybody is out there interested in assisting in the athlete or the technical director going overseas and they want to sponsor, make any kind of donation in any kind of way, we welcome that, because we're not in a position as yet to do our own funding for most of this stuff, and we don't want to get invited to games and have to turn it down because we don't have any funding and we don't know how we're going to get there. So locally, we don't have much sponsors per se right now who really assist us. It's a relatively new sport, as Ali told you. So a lot of people don't know about it, and we're here trying to make people aware of what's going on. And all goes well, hopefully next week. They should be traveling on Thursday and coming back on Sunday. The competition is Saturday. So once all goes well and they get back, and if you have the space for us to come back here next week, then Ali could tell you about what went down in the competition, what the experience was like, and what went on. And we could probably get the athlete himself online so he could explain his side of it, and you could ask him a few questions as well.
We appreciate that, and we extend the invitation. We did speak.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and we said yes. Once you're available to be here next week, Tuesday, Tuesday, God's Spear, and we are also having the St. Kitts Cricket Association. They're going to be in with us, separate, of course. They're going to be talking about the Bangladesh matches, which we will be hosting here, and St. Kitts in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, but at Warner Park. So, gentlemen, any final words before you leave?
Well, yeah, we have expectation to go out there and give the Barbadians audience a show and put St. Kitts out there again and take it further. Hopefully we go give them a good show and we get invited to more shows, not only in Barbados, but across the region and internationally, so we can be more of ambassadors. Sports, in general, are basically ambassadors for the whatever federation they're from. So that's where our goal is, to let people know about small St. Kitts. We're already out there, but you never know.
4 years from now, God's Spear, if you want to come right back here on your show and tell you, we will be leaving tomorrow for wherever the next Olympics going to be. We'll be heading out
Los
with the
Angeles
team.
2020.
Yeah, 4 years from now, God's Spear, we want to come back on your show and tell you we're going to be leaving tomorrow for Los Angeles with a team of weightlifters to compete in the Olympics. That is our main goal right now.
Well, that is excellent, because we're at the St. Kitts and Nevis Table Tennis Association. That is what we're working to. We're not certain, just like you, if we'll get on that plane there, but going through the elimination process and the qualifiers, etc., because we have to push our athletes, and of course appealing to the government of St. Kitts and Nevis to extend a little more, as well as the corporate community, because we need that sponsorship. We, as the sporting community, the weightlifting, table tennis, etc., we need that sponsorship to help us with our programs. But gentlemen, it was indeed a pleasure having you here with us. And we wish you guys, gentlemen, all the best. The national team, notwithstanding, is one athlete. And we hope that he'll come back here with some silverware. And when I say silver, I don't mean silver. It could be gold. But we hope that...
Only time will tell. But he has the potential to do it.
So congratulations to him. Congratulations to you folks. And the best wishes. And we'll hear from you again next week. God's
willing.
We'll
hear from you. All right.
You were listening to an interview with the St. Kitts and Nevis Weightlifting Association. The president, Mr. Romain Belgove, and Alistair James, the technical director. We indeed thank them for being here. And we thank you for listening to us and being with us as well. What we're going to do, we're going to take a short break here. And we'll be back. Stick and stay. Don't go away.
We're here at On the Ball with Biff Mills. We're getting set as we take a short commercial break. Just waiting for this thing here to load up. Load up in a little bit. So we go for a short commercial break. You know, we are fighting here with technology. So it can load up. So in the meantime, while that loads up, in the meantime, as it loads. Don't forget to stick and stay with WINN FM. It's always a pleasure to stay with us here at WINN FM. It's always a pleasure. On the Ball is still here. We're not finished with On the Ball as yet. So don't go nowhere. Stay tuned. We will be right back. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. Just waiting for it to load up. And then as it loads up, we continue the program. Yeah, as it loads up. So just give me a second here. Let me get something here in the meantime. As it loads up.
Listen me, yo, Jassy. Celebration time. Every time we link up. Yo, tomorrow. Come, let's do this. One battle long home, and me not even jump yet. And load on me coke. I drink it till the sunset, and as me wake up, and I drink it with me friends. Then I look in and boast, got me up to the ceiling. What a wonderful feeling! I can't believe it, because I'm drunk, feeling. What a wonderful feeling! I can't believe it. I need a bottle now, I need a bottle now. That is all I need. Let's have a party. I need a bottle now, I need a bottle now. That is all I need. Let's have a party. Start to drink up now, start to drink up now, start to drink up now. Let's have a party. Start to drink up now, start to drink up now, start to drink up now. Let's have a party. Bassman calling, I forget I had work today. Rum drinking, say no the mood don't change already. Just load up big cup, so we drinking non-stop. Right now we can't get enough. What got me up to the ceiling?
It's hard to even fathom which parts I should believe. 'Cause you're giving me a million reasons. Give me a million reasons. Giving me a million reasons. About a million reasons.
Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune into On the Ball, a weekly tour show which is on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Biff Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Biff Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball. Welcome back to On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9. I am Troy Biff Mills, your host. And again, we do apologize for the technical glitch we had, but thanks to my producer, DJ Tough House, he was able to get it organized. And we are back up and running again. 466-0989, the number to call. And you can WhatsApp me, 668-2055 as well. And where do we go? We got quite a few things to talk about, to share. Let us go. Let's talk about primary school football. And the sports department, they've been having primary school, schools football, primary and high school. In the St. Kitts and Nevis Anguilla National Bank Primary School Championships, Match day 9 results from Thursday 21st, Friday 22nd, Monday, November. In Boyd's, Tyrrell Williams 8-1, taking advantage of Brenty Welch for goals. The goal scorers, Kurt Finch, he had a double brace, 4 goals and 1 each from Josiah Drew, Jamikai Drew, Carlick Williams and Derek Stevens. The consolation goal for Brenty Welch came from Kema Rollins. The St. Kitts and Nevis Anguilla National Bank Giant Mall player of the match was Kurt Finch of Tyrrell Williams. St. Paul's Primary School, ouch. They gave Cotton Thomas 2 handful, 10-0. Zachary Challenger, he scored 5 goals, a handful. Hat-trick from the Nazri Harris, and the Kason Jules had a brace. St. Paul's victory, ensuring that they won the National Bank Giant Malt player of the match was Zakari Challenger. At Warner Park, Sadler's 3, Dr. William Connor 1. For Sadler's, Javier Keynes, he had a hat-trick. Scored a greedy guy, he scored all the goals. For Dr. William Connor, goals came because of his own goal by Sadler's Primary. Javier Keynes of Sadler's Primary, the National Bank Giant Malt player of the match. In Sandy Point, SP were the best be. Joshua Obadiah 6, just easing over Newton Ground 5-6-5. 11 goals there. And Javon Monzak and Raheem Duncan of Joshua Obadiah Primary School both scored hat-tricks. For Newton Ground, Aiden Prentice, he scored 4 goals, and Jamaji France 1. The National Bank Giant Mart player of the match was Javon Monzak of Joshua Obadiah. Edgar T. Morris 2. Sandy Point Primary School out of SP were the best be. Not on this occasion, they lost 2-1. And scoring for Edgar T. Morris, Nayari Henry, he scored both goals. And for Sandy Point, Therese Murray, the National Bank Giant Mall player of the match, Nayari Henry of Edgar T. Morris. In Newtown, George Moody Stewart School, that's Factory School, it's called 7-1. Taking care of business against Tucker Clark. Wow, Tucker Clark, that's out of Newtown. A very sporting community. And for George Moody, Jaleel Hazel, he scored a double brace, 4 goals. Jariq Wharton and Ronell Phipp scored 1 each. And Tucker Clark Primary School had an own goal. Lejean Pontine scored the only goal for Tucker Clark Primary. Jaleel Hazel of George Moody School was the National Bank Giant Mall player of the match. In Keon, Dean Glassford Primary 6, Sky Academy 0. And for Dean Glassford, Troy Mills. Forgive me, I said Troy, not Troy Mills. I was a goalkeeper. I used to try to pretend I was a goalkeeper. Troy Shiwamba and Tarkel Burrows, who scored 2 goals each, one from Levon Matthew, and the Sky Academy had an own goal. The National Bank Giant Mall player of the match, Tarkel Burrows of Dean Glassford. Down at Dieppe 2-1 over Keon. And that got to be a big win for Dieppe because Keon has been doing well. Keon Premier they have been doing well here and winning the championship several times. Jevian Bradshaw scored both goals for Dieppe. Keon Primary's goal was due to a Dieppe Primary School own goal. Why am I getting the impression that these primary goals come in real popular? And on Friday 22nd at the Gardens, Halliday Smith Primary, that's formerly Irish Town Primary, 9-1, taking advantage of Violet Petty. Violet Petty, that is Lodge Primary. LeQuandre Seaton, he scored 4 goals. Malik Carty and Kyle Williams a brace each. And in Kenya Francis, 1 goal. Kadim Diaz scored the goal for Violet Petty. The National Bank Giant Mall player of the match was LeQuandre Seaton of Halliday Smith Primary. And on Monday, we had at Warner Park ICCS 5, Sky Academy 0. Sky Academy gaining a handful. And London Williams with a brace, 1 each from Keriana Harris, Rejon Morton, and guess what? Sky Academy an own goal. National Bank Giant Mall player of the match, London Williams, ICCS. Sadler's Primary taking advantage of Morris Hillier Primary, that's Epworth. Desireen 6-0. Desireen Williams had a hat-trick. Joel Henry a brace and 1 goal from Javier Keynes. And the National Bank Giant Mall player of the match was Joel Hanley of Sadler's. In Childs, Tyrell Williams Primary 3, Dr. William Connor 1, Khalik Williams and Derek Stevens goals, and an own goal from Dr. William Connor. This own goal thing is contagious. Kemar Clark scored the lone goal for Dr. William Connor. The National Bank Giant Mall Player of the Match and seek the cost of Tyrrell Williams Primary School. Up at St. Peter's, Beach Allen 8, Dean Glassford 2. Dean Glassford is the St. Peter's Primary, the primary school in St. Peter's. Elijah Mitchum, he had a handful, 5 goals, and 1 each from Kesley Desamar, Dijon Burge, and Nathan Liddy. For Beach Allen, for Dean Glassford, Troy Shiwanba and Jaden Woods, the goal scorers. Elijah Mitchum was the National Bank Giant Mall Player of the Match. And in Boyd's, we had Dateby Primary 9, Balti Welsh 0. There's a lot of these young guys scoring. We probably need to induct them into a senior team right away. Jevian Batcher had a double brace, 4 goals, a hat-trick from Jekwan Warner, and a brace from Devanje Van Putten. And those were the 9 goals. And the player of the match, the National Bank Giant Mall player of the match, Jevian Batch of Dateby Primary School. And for Wednesday 27th, that's tomorrow, God's Play, Morris Hillier Memorial versus Banty Welch at the park. Dean Glassford Primary versus Tyrrell Williams Primary in Vorchild. Sky Academy versus Keon Primary in Keon. And Beach Allen Primary versus Dateby in Keon. All matches starting at 4 o'clock. And I really like this thing. I like what's happening. I must commend the Department of Sports for putting it on, because parents are coming out. And a lot of good things are happening in the primary school. We have to get some netball results for you. We have to get some senior football results as well. And we have just 10 minutes to go. 3 St. Lucians in the West Indies on the 19 camp, according to the St. Lucia Times. And Theo, Edward, Can Elcock, and Cody Fontenelle will be groomed and nurtured under the tutelage of CWA Pathway and High Performance Coaches. And this is an article from the November 23rd in the St. Lucia Times. A classy left-handed batsman, Elcock led Leon Haas Comprehensive Secondary School to victory in the 2023 Schools 50-over tournament, scoring a century in a decisive match. A former Windward Island Under-15 MVP, he played alongside Edward and Fontenelle for the Windward Islands Under-17s in this year's regional competition. Fontenelle, a right-arm leg spinner, had an outstanding CWI Under-17 tournament this year. His 16 wickets in 3 matches were the second most in the competition. His 8 wickets in the rain hit 50-over leg included 6 for 26 against Leeward Islands. He finished with the 5th most scalps in that part of the series. Edwards, also a former Under-15 MVP, has played Under-19 cricket for sub-regional teams, scoring a half-century against champions Barbados in July. In the Windward Islands Under-19 tournament, he was the leading batsman with 188 runs, an average of 37.6 and top score of 81 not out. And the last 5 years, Tariq Edwards, McKenny Clark, Akeem Auguste, and Kimani Melius have played international age group cricket for West Indies. The latter two both served as captains of the Under-19 regional team. The question is, how come we don't have anybody from St. Kitts and Nevis? Let me take back that. How come we have not heard of anybody from St. Kitts and Nevis making it? Maybe they have. However, we have not heard about that. And in a bit of track and field, and I like this, what is happening. The fast twitch, this one is Basti High School. Time Isaac, 15 years. Fast twitch athletic. Yes. Career goal to be a flight attendant. Favorite food, seafood. Female is Sienna. And Takiyama is 15. Sienna Pemberton, 8. Edgar T. Morris Primary, hurdles. Career goal to become a teacher. favorite food, macaroni pie or pasta. Interesting. And then we have Johnny and Clark, 11 years, Beach Island Primary, favorite event, 200 meters. He wants to be a footballer and a coach. Steak with spaghetti. This guy eating expensive, boy. Steak with spaghetti. And they're from the Fast Twitch Club. We say congratulations to them on being named the athletes for the month by Fast Twitch. I like the idea, and I wish them the best. Hope they go on. And we have 6 minutes to go. We have National Bank results. Guyana. Let's jump into a bit of cricket. Guyana, they're having their Super League, which is being sponsored by the Cricket West Indies. And this is set to start just now. The new 5-team T20 tournament called the Global Super League is set to launch in Guyana and will be played from November 26th. That is today to December 7th. The league will feature teams from 5 different countries and is sanctioned by CWI and fully supported by the government of Guyana, a key stakeholder in the competition, which has a prize money of $1 million. This is interesting, and Guyana, they're really leading the way in terms of cricket, and they must be congratulated for that. And this oil thing really working big time for them. And we really wish them all the best. It's the inaugural tournament. And I'm going to tell you the teams in a minute. And we have teams out of Guyana, obviously. We have out of England, I think it is Australia, and Guyana Amazon Warriors, Caribbean Premier League champ, invited from the Caribbean Premier League. They didn't invite the King St. Lucia Kings, and they are the current champions. But anyway, Imran Tahir, he's the captain, and Prasanna Agoram, the head coach. Hampshire Hawks, T20 Blast, and they're out of England. Adrian Birrell from South Africa, and Chris Wood is the captain out of England. Lahore Kalanders, that's out of Pakistan Super League. Darren Goff, he is the head coach, and Carlos Brathwaite of the West Indies is the captain. Rangoon Riders out of the Bangladesh Premier League. Mickey Arthur of South Africa, the head coach. Nurul Hassan, the captain, that's out of Bangladesh. And Victoria out of Australia from the 2020 Big Bash. Chris Rogers, the coach. Corey Anderson, that's the American player. He is part of that setup. And Carlos Brathwaite, the captain of the Lahore Colanders. Matthew Ford of West Indies, he's playing for Rangpur Riders. And any other West Indies, Jamir Hamilton, he's playing for Victoria. Wow, that is interesting. And for the Guyana, we have Kevlin Anderson, Waston Chase, Mark Dial, Shemron Hitmeyer, Shea Hope, Gudakesh Moti, Keno Paul, Romario Shepherd, and Shama Springer. And I wonder how that game went or is going. Live score. Oh yes, here we are. In the first match, we had let's get down and get some details for you. Guyana Amazon Warriors, they won the toss and elected to field first. And therefore, the Lahore Kalanders, they batted first, and they were 125 from 19.2 overs. Adam Washington, the captain, he made 25 from 19 balls. Tommy Bell, 48 from 25 balls. The only persons of worth. And Dwayne Pretorius from South Africa, the opening bowler, he had 4 for 21, picking up 4 wickets. Tazim Hassim Saqib, 3.2 overs, 21 2 wickets. Hassam Khan, 4 overs, 2 wickets, 31 runs. Imran Tahir, 1. And therefore needing 126 to win. The Guyana's Amazon Warriors, they are 18 for 1. They lost Mark Dale for 1. Shea Hope, the wicketkeeper, is not out, 10 from 5. Moeen Ali, out of England, not out, 7 from 5. So that is the first game that is on today. Well, this evening. So it's a new cricket league. And kudos to Guyana. I'm not so certain a lot of persons are happy. It's their call to choose the team, but I'm not so certain a lot of persons are actually thinking about, not too happy about St. Lucia Kings not being in there. Cappy State Legends, they're leading the points table in the Ambassadors Cup, having won 4, lost 1. CP Legends, same, but they're ahead on goal difference. And we won't be able to tell you. We say congratulations to the West Indies on winning their first game. Our main man, Kyle, he lost out on a century, 97. So close, but yet so far. 97 and 50 is the same thing when it comes to cricket, a half century. And we say congratulations to him. And Jaden Seals, he made a century on debut. I know Mr. Spencer, Samuel Spencer, he has been advocating since early in the year that he should be part of the West Indies setup. So now that he's in, making a century on his debut, he had a fine form with the 50-over competition. The first 3 matches, he made a century. Congratulations to him. Congratulations to the Windies. Congratulations to Kyle. And I now will have to slip away because, gosh, time flies. Really, really flies. So much information we had to share, but we're going to do that the next time. India beat Australia in the first test, and that they made Australia look small, bearing in mind that New Zealand just beat England in a test series India in India. And by cricket sports, that's a funny thing. And you don't know when you're strong and you win today, lose tomorrow. And something I've been saying about the West Indies team, Lee was, and perhaps the St. Kitts team, extremely consistent at being inconsistent. They'll make 500 today and can make 150 tomorrow, which was the case against Bangladesh. Luckily, we were able to skill them out on both occasions. So we're going to see how the other test match goes and wish Kyle. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be logging out now, and we thank you for listening. And it was indeed a pleasure. And again, we heard of the passing of Wade Davis. We say condolences to his family and friends, which is indeed sad news. And Mr. Hastings, late Hastings Daniel, he will be laid to rest in Nevis on Saturday. And the delegation from the St. Kitts and Nevis Table Tennis Association will be there. He was an executive member. It is so sad. And happy belated birthday to the Honorable Samal Duggins, the Minister of Sport. It was indeed a pleasure being here with you. We invite you to join again next week, Tuesday, from 7 to 9. And you can call me, 668-2055, if you want to share any information. And you want to come on board as a sponsor of the program. 466-9586 is the number to call. Our marketing department will be able to organize and meet with you and have a special package prepared for you. Or you can give me a shout, 668-2055, and I'll be able to meet you. Thanks again for listening. We thank the caller for calling, and we wish you a pleasant night's rest. And as I slip away, always be positive in your thoughts, in your words, in your actions. Have a good night.